Here to tell us all about it is our very own good friend from Sasfin, David Shapiro. Well, David, I suppose when you come into the studio and the screens are green, it always puts you in a better mood.
Fantastic. Alec, up 1.3%, and I think totally unexpected. Again, it was driven by Greece, or relief over Greece. The fact that Greece is unlikely to default in the near term. In the longer term, I'm sure it's going to default. But it's strange that this kind of relief caused a rebound in commodity prices and also drew a lot of buyers into the market. The markets were oversold. But if you take a back step, if you take a step backwards and you look at some of the data that's coming out in the global economy, it's still pretty weak, particularly on the consumer side. So I think we reached a certain level. The market was oversold. A little bit of good news, and we're rebounding. But I still think we need a lot more, positive news on global growth to actually sustain this recovery. But for what it is, a great day.
Just like yesterday, David, in fact, it was almost identical to yesterday. 300 points in the last hour and a half.
It is, and I'm not sure who's driving it, but gains were right across the board on the mining, financials, and, of course, on the industrial boards. If there is one area where we're seeing a lot of inflows, that's into the industrial board. On the local market, we've seen retailers very strong. I mentioned it yesterday. Today, again, Lewis, Truworths, Massmart, some very big gains there. On the mining boards, platinum, gold's led. But overall, it was a particularly positive day with very few shares ending in the red.
Another good session for Massmart, up 3.5% or 3.25%. African Bank led the top 40 today, 3.5% higher. I suppose that is an indication of international interest.
I would say so, because it's a company that just paid a dividend, but I mean it's a 4.5% to 5% dividend payer, well placed in the market to grow. Remember, Ellerines are starting to come right, so you've got not only the unsecured loan side of the market, but also growth on the on furniture sales. So I think well placed, and also a big favourite among foreigners. Massmart, I think, had something like 80% of its shareholders were foreign. I think Abel's another company with a very big exposure to foreign shareholders.
Dave, only 2 of the top 40 shares were down. MTN was down 0.5% against the trend, and then Assor was down by 2.5%. Any thoughts there?
Not really. I know that there was a story on Assor, and it's just slipped my mind. No, I just saw it on the headlines. No, I can't. It slipped my mind. There was something with Assor. Assor, to me, it's a company that shouldn't really be there because it's a very, very poor trader. And manganese, or what's it, ferromanganese, it's a very difficult company to trade on. But MTN, I can't understand. It's normally a top trader, maybe just 1 or 2 selling orders at these in the market at the moment. But it's odd that it bucked the trend.
Assor was fair volumes, Dave. 33,000 shares, and the share trades at 217 rand. So it's not as though it was just marked down.
When you're going through headlines and you suddenly see Assor or something like this, and there must have been some news that maybe triggered the sales.
All right, well, that's something that jumps to mind as well. And I see our little friend Sack Oil has been making a recovery, up another 7% today. It's back to 88 cents. Good luck if you're Chinese.
It's just starting to creep up. Old Robin doesn't stop. Robin Vela, every day there's some news that he releases, about his management team, about the prospects of the company. So full credit to him for information and making the company as transparent as anything. But I think there's still a lot of stale bulls there that are hurting and burning from the collapse that we saw in the share price.
And there's also a predator that's sneaking around there, I suppose, just waiting to lick their lips and have another
go at them.
At the Sack Oil team. So just be very aware, is what David is saying now, and I would support that when you're playing in that stock, at the moment, you are playing with fire.